Well, each year, thousands and thousands of cattlemen and cattlewomen from across this great country of ours join us at the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show. And this year here in New Orleans, it's no different. However, this year, we even have a Hollywood actor, Montana cowboy turned celebrity with us. We have Forrie Smith from the hit television series Yellowstone. And Forrie, thank you so much for joining us here in New Orleans for this Cattle Industry Convention NCBA trade show. It's always a pleasure. Let's first and foremost talk a little bit about how you transitioned from being a Montana cowboy, which by the way, I'm from Montana as well, to one of Hollywood's favorite actors.
Well, it was another Montana cowboy. Harry McCory used to ride bulls. He got involved in the film industry. What a lot of people don't understand is back in the 50s when all the B westerns were being made, they hired rodeo cowboys to be stuntmen and wranglers and stuff. The guys that didn't want to hit the ground, they became wranglers and drivers, and they hired them. In '86, when I got in the business, if you didn't have a rodeo background or born in the business, you weren't a stuntman. Because they knew that rodeo cowboys weren't scared to hit the ground. They'd been in fist fights. They knew how to do it. And it was an old rodeo cowboy that got me in the business.
I'll be darned. I hadn't heard that story.
Belgrade, Montana.
From Belgrade, Montana. Let's talk about Yellowstone. I mean, when the series was first presented to you, or the story behind, which is now a hit television series, I mean, what did you think of it when you first read through the script, and how'd you even get interested in trying to become part of this Yellowstone cast?
I was actually hired for Kevin Costner. When I got involved, Robert Redford was going to be the star. Taylor met me on Hell or High Water. I was wrangling, and he seen what I carry a 50-foot rope and a whip, and I ride nice horses. Thanks to my upbringing in Montana, I know a good horse. And he came to me and says, I'm writing a modern Western and you're going to be in it. And I said, yeah, I've heard that BS before. Taylor goes, but not for me, you haven't. It's just been a heck of a ride, and I'm proud to be part of a TV show that's bringing our culture and our heritage back to the forefront of society. It just thrills me all the time.
I've been doing this farm broadcasting career for about 30 years, and up until the past couple years, if I go through an airport, wherever, people always say, oh, you must be from Texas. Well, for the first time in my life, I have people actually telling me, you must be from Montana.
Yes, sir. And you know what I told Taylor? I said, you guys in Texas think your hands, all the good hands went north with the herds back in the 1880s, 1800s. You know, I said, the good cowboys come from Montana. And I'm thrilled at that myself. And when I first moved to Texas, I was like really thrilled. I thinking, well, I've worked cows in Montana, and now I'm working cows in Texas, two of the largest cattle producing states in the nation. And then they told me, no, Florida. I've rodeoed in Florida, but I never worked cows there.
Oh, well, just a few more questions for you. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of acting in Yellowstone. I mean, it is a modern Western. But I know Taylor and you folks on the cast, I mean, you truly try to write in, some modern and real life storylines. I mean, from input costs to the rising price of land values. I mean, you truly try to replicate what's going on in the agricultural community.
Yeah, I love Taylor. I'm so grateful to him for what he's done for our culture, and he's very conscious of what he's doing and how he's writing it, and how he's bringing these problems that we're facing to the forefront.
Now, I understand that you also may know another fellow Montanans who is here with us in New Orleans that plays an integral role at the NCBA level with their stockmanship and stewardship program, Kurt Pate.
Yeah, I know this guy. We go back generations. Yes.
Well, I want to know the history behind you two real-life Montana cowboys, and I'm going to start with Kurt because you said you got some pretty good stories about you and Forrie and your two families over the years.
Well, our grandfathers were in business. They bought and sold cattle together. My mother and his mother are still best friends, and when I was a few years younger than him, and he took me under his wing rodeo, and we'd be on these all-night drives, and Forrie'd be telling me how to be. I'd usually beat him in the bareback ride, but he gave me a lot of advice when I was a young man. And then I think the ranching industry owes this guy. He did not grow up an actor. He grew up poor, tough, and
well, wait.
You've wanted to be.
I'll give you your chance this second.
You've wanted to be an actor and a rancher since I've been this high knowing you, and he's never backed down from that. And now I am so thankful to see. I see him everywhere now. He's like horse manure. He's everywhere, and he has done so good. And we're so proud of him in Montana, the ranching community, and us cowboys.
I remember one time our granddad sold some cattle to his granddad, Leonard Franks, and we'd have to drive them over to Kleffner's across the county line so we didn't have to get inspected. Then we'd load them on the stock truck and haul them to Leonard's. Well, Leonard, they had scales at Kleffner's and stuff, and all Leonard wanted to weigh them at his house. Now, we'll stop and have a drink on the way. So in the stock truck, Grandpa's like, well, if Leonard thinks he's going to really get to me letting these cows dry out while we're having a drink. He says, but I got a couple 100 pounds of cow manure from hauling all them cattle in off a summer pasture on there, so we're going to break about even.
Well, without question, it was sure fun to have Forrie Smith from the hit television series Yellowstone join us at this year's Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show here in New Orleans. It was also fun to watch Forrie and Kurt Pate reconnect. Of course, Kurt's a very familiar face on many of these Cattlemen to Cattlemen segments. And above all, just another great reason of why you should join us here at the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show, regardless of where it's at each year, because not only is there a lot of information out there to be had, but we also have a lot of fun.